Let's look at the painting here. What's happening?
No, fuck the painting. We can talk about something else. Like,
Well, I don't
like,
know. We'll just go with the flow.
yeah. So we've discussed the names. We discussed our boy King Jung-ji. Now on another topic about art, and something that is very close and dear, something that inspired me to become an artist. Lord of the Rings. I have always been a massive fantasy fan because of Lord of the Rings, and I've told you in a previous podcast how scared I was about the Amazon series that they were making, because I think that the franchise has been bastardized ever since The Hobbit came out, the first one. Like they've just been like stamping on nostalgia grounds over and over and over, trying to milk the franchise for all it's worth. And oh my god, I lost my pen. No, I can't draw without my pen. Oh, there it is. And and when I heard that they were making an Amazon series, and the Amazon series was like one of the biggest, most expensive series ever made, and it was gonna be huge. Amazon, Jeff Bezos himself opened his checkbook and said, "Do whatever you want. I want Gandalf live on screen. God damn it! I want to see the conception of Gandalf. I want to see his parents doing it." And then they just dropped everything to make the Lord of the Rings of Power prequel. And I remember watching it, and I saw like some of the images for the series. Like, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty all right. So I was kind of like, is this? I think it looks good, but I don't trust Amazon like to hold my own shit. You know, I wouldn't throw shit at them out of fear that they might try and sell it to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Amazon is shady. So when I was like reticent about the Amazon Rings of Power, like, okay, I'll give it a try. I finally did that. I saw like one episode of it, and all my fears came true. Turns out it's basically just a fucking cash grab. It is a horrible series. It is gorgeous looking, by the way. I think it is a series that by looks alone, it is astonishingly beautiful. It looks like each episode looks like a movie on its own, and it looks like a high fidelity movie. So I was super surprised by that. But the dialogue is shit. The story is predictable. The characters are kind of ruined and bastardized, in my opinion. So go on.
I am a little curious. I mean, I've been thinking about that. They make it's not uncommon for people to shit on shows or movies that they are.
Yeah, that's our bread
and
butter.
Good. They look good, but there is no story behind them.
Yeah.
But I wonder, the studios that make them, and when they make that decision, is it because when they make a movie like that looks very good, just more people go watch it, even if they don't like it? They just spend the money to go to the theater because it looks gorgeous. Because that's the
also nostalgia,
that's the
right?
book on the shelf.
It's the title, Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power, and also the prestige of it. It's the most expensive show all the time. I mean, they marketed that. When they released the show, they marketed how expensive it was.
But do you think the population at large is watching the show, and they're still watching it, and they're enjoying it because it looks so good?
I don't think they are.
Is it just a small proportion of us that are these purists that want a good story out of a story?
No, I think most people want the good story. I think some people can make excuses for it. Like, imagine that this was the 8th season, Game of Thrones reference. If this was the 8th season, there's so much good faith behind it, like that people can make excuses and say, "Oh no, but that's how the story was meant to end." You know, I got it, I understood it. Like they speed it up a little bit because you don't need, like, the most common excuse is, "I don't need to see them travel from one point of the continent to the other. I'm fine. Let's just hurry up and get to the good bits." And people are like that, and you have that opinion. But ultimately, what matters is the story, and the story of Game of Thrones, whether it was done correctly or not, was good. Is a good story. Now you can say that they rushed the dramatic beats and all that. Fine. I personally think it ruined it, but some people actually enjoyed it. I don't know many, but some did. And on the Rings of Power prequels to Lord of the Rings, the story is not good. The characters are not good. They don't have the good faith of, like, you didn't see these characters evolve before your eyes and to the point where they are now. You just see this two-dimensional, bland, uninteresting character with horrible dialogue, or with it's the dialogue that it's a cardinal sin. It's like that pseudo-intellectual dialogue of, like, they try to seem mythical and they make every speech very philosophical, like, oh, do you know why ships float? And you're like, yeah, because the wood floats, and if you have a big enough surface, it stays adrift on the water. And they go, no, it is because one must love the beauty of the sky, and the ships want to be close to the beauty of the sky and not to the darkness of the depths. Fuck off! That's horrible dialogue, horrible, like, bit of insight. Why do ships float? Is because they don't want to, like, they want to
Why
be...
did you become Trump suddenly?
Oh god, yeah, but that character spoke like Trump. It was a horror, like, all the dialogue is based on that pseudo-philosophical bullshit.
Ships float because we're gonna make
a beautiful ship, and the Valar are going to pay for it.
Okay, so it's such a bad show. I haven't watched anything. Oh my god! But like, people are still watching, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't.
I don't
keep
think
going
so.
With it. They're not. You think it's a major flop in terms of revenue? I don't even know how revenue works for these things.
I mean, I think that people that have Amazon will probably keep watching it if they are for gluttons for punishment. There are a lot of people that watch shit because they want to see. They want to see if it gets good, or if they want to see, like, their favorite characters show up or whatever.
Right. It's familiarity, right?
Yeah,
people want some comfort as well. Like, sometimes I also want to watch a movie. I think, oh, what do I want to watch? And like, oh, I don't want to watch a new movie. I don't know what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
I just want like a mellow experience, something familiar.
Pretty much.
I guess I get it. Yeah, and I mean, for me, just on that regard, like, having some familiarity. I mean, at this point, I don't think I care about Marvel movies anymore. Like, I tried to watch, like, oh, I'll guess maybe it's gonna be good. They're not good. Like, none of them have been good for a while.
Yeah, I've also become disillusioned with Marvel movies, and to the point where I didn't see the latest Thor,
Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Like, I was actually kind of curious to see that, because my boy Taika Waititi, and I think that Taika Waititi is mostly good than bad. I think I liked all his movies, so I was like, oh, good, Taika Waititi, he's like a recipe for success. But I was kind of already getting sick of watching Marvel movies, but I was gonna give it a shot. I wasn't gonna be day one on the cinema, but I wanted to see it. But as soon as, like, the first reviews came out saying, like, it's basically just Marvelisms to the extreme, and it's just joke after joke after joke nonstop, and there is no, like, serious beats, and the pandering is there, and the story doesn't quite hold up, and I was like, there was a barrage of so much critique that was like, you know what, I don't need to see this. I don't need to go through it. I'll see it at home when it comes out, and I'm good enough with that.
Yeah, I wonder how much say he had in how he directed it, because I don't know, it didn't feel very Taika Waititi-ish. I don't think many of the jokes were good. I mean, there were some funny bits, but
yeah. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie, so I don't know. But I'm also not very interested in doing so. Like, I've also not watched, like, the latest Marvel one, which is She-Hulk. I've also heard a lot of people shit talk, and to be honest, like, I was curious to watch She-Hulk because I had a theory, or I had a feeling or a rumor that Daredevil is going to show up, and apparently he still is. I don't know if he has already or not. And I'm a huge fan of Daredevil. I think Daredevil is a cool character. But yeah, the show was also had this barrage of criticism that I think is justified. Like, it's not like, ooh, it's a show with a woman, therefore show is bad. Like, some people, the criticisms that they add to the show would be something that I would have not liked. So they're like, oh, they do that? I'm not really interested. And I feel like Marvel in general, Disney in general, like, you had these shows, and I've also kind of got tired of Star Wars. I haven't watched the Obi-Wan one. Mm-hmm. There's a new show apparently that is really good, which is called Endor, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to see it. Right. But people are actually complimenting Endor. I just haven't.
By the way, there is someone in chat. I do apologize, Alex46. I am on chat duty as Sev is busy. Well, Alex was saying we need to build a wall to keep the ice people out.
Of course.
In reference to your to the She-Hulk, she says that he did show up.
Oh, he did. Oh, well, did
Daredevil.
Matthew Cox or whatever his name is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even bother. It's like one of these movies are. I just see them as memes apparently, like all over the place. It's same with the Morbius. I didn't even want to watch that. Like the first time I watched this, I'm like, ugh, see this. This is stupid.
Yeah, it is clearly. It's just clearly a producer that is either completely out of touch with reality, or there's like a money laundering scam behind it or something. Like
Ooh.
sometimes, or even like sometimes movies are made not so much because they have an idea, the vision that they want to carry out. Sometimes movies are made because if the company doesn't release a movie with a property, they lose the rights to that property. That's how the Fantastic Four movies, just like the last one that was a complete shit. That's why those movies kept being made, because Universal didn't want to lose the rights to Fantastic Four. So they're getting close to the deadline. I was like, fuck, we got to release something, and they just shit it out. There's a lot of situations, especially in like the comic book world, where that happens. I think there is something similar with Hulk. Like Hulk is also Universal property. And the Fantastic Four, was it? I don't know if Fantastic Four was Universal or Sony. I think it was Universal. But going back to the Hulk, Hulk is also a property that belongs to Universal, and like Universal has the rights as long as they keep making movies. But apparently, if they wanted to make movies, they needed permission from Disney, but Disney doesn't give permission. So they're basically in this standstill where none of them they're not going to let the other one make a standalone Hulk movie. That's why Hulk has never been in a standalone movie. He's always like appeared in someone else's movie. And they're just waiting for the years to go by, and so that Universal loses the rights for Hulk, and so it goes back to Marvel.
No.
And I think that's going to happen soon.
Very confusing.
Yeah, there's like so
legally
much
confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of legalese and all that shit.
Okay, Alex is mentioning if a movie is shot in Georgia or Germany, they actually get money from the government to shoot in those places. So sometimes they'll throw out the cheapest movie they can make and just cash in their government check. So when you say the government gives money, would that be the local government, the German or the Georgian government?
Sometimes I think there are tax incentives for it. Like if you make a movie there, the taxes you pay are next to nil, and you get the revenues of releasing your movie sometimes. That it does seem like a lot of the times people just make movies to launder money, or because they have a tax scheme involved.
Oh, and Alex says Georgia is in U.S. Georgia. Okay, I actually was thinking of the country, as you mentioned, Georgia or Germany.
I mean, one of the biggest examples of that is Canada. There's so many movies that are filmed in Canada for that reason, because of tax benefits.
Man, let's get in on that hustle. Let's just
make
exploit,
a random
like people have it's like those people who do is it patent trolling? We can be like rights expiration trolls. Like, hey, you're gonna expire, better make a movie. Hey, we're you guys. Come on. We have no experience, but
I'm pretty sure
you'll keep the rights.
I'm pretty sure there are people that already do that very well. But yeah, this
it's what happened with the Lord of the Rings, you think?
No, maybe
well, that's a huge budget. I think
New Line Cinema probably is. They probably felt like, we have to release something soon, otherwise we're going to lose the rights for Lord of the Rings, and that's our only cash cow. Because isn't like New Line Cinema like almost going bankrupt or whatever? Isn't there like only property isn't it like Lord of the Rings?
I haven't even heard that. Okay, I recognize the logotype. Okay, I have no idea. Man, I didn't know there was so much drama in this regards to expiration of licenses and stuff.
Yeah, that's mostly
that's kind of crap, isn't it?
Yeah, each time there's like a big budget movie that has been made, and it's so bad that you have no idea why people would ever greenlight it. Like the story seems like shit.
Like Greenlight?
I suppose.
Green Lantern, was it? Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yes,
Green Lantern, I think was during the age where people were still discovering how to make comic book movies. So I don't think Green Lantern is a good example of it. But yeah, each time the movie is out that is so bad, it's mostly because I can fucking get the glasses right. It's mostly because a company or a producer was just trying to get a tax benefit out of it, or because they were just trying to keep like legal rights to keep the franchise within their studio or whatever.
Have you ever done animation?
Yes, but what sort of animation?
Well, just like you drawing, but
Oh, okay.
having it animated.
No, I did motion graphics. I never animated that. That seems like a lot of work and a field of expertise that I'm not that familiar with.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God.
I would like to be able to just sometimes I have these thoughts and I see them and I'd like to have a way to let people like see it as well. But I
Mhm.
don't have the skill. I'm thinking, oh, then I have to spend like I don't know, like 5, 10 years to be able to draw, to be able to convey the ideas I have in my mind, and then by that time maybe I don't want to convey the idea anymore and I give up. But like I really wish my superpower would be thought streaming. Like, you know what, that question, like what superpower would you have? I would have thought streaming. I can just stream my thoughts to you.
Yeah, that's
And you
pretty
can
much
see what
every
you see.
artist's dream, right? Like you want to
No,
convey the
because you wanna-
story.
because you actually want to do the art. You actually have the superpower. It's just
No one,
slow
no,
and
no, no, no,
ineffective.
no. It's just shit. No one wants to do the
It's
art.
shit. It's
No one
slow.
wants to do the art. Everyone just wants to have the art done.
No, you just literally said like at the start of the stream, King Jong-gi like loved drawing so much he just drew every day for no reason whatsoever out of just.
And the dude died of a heart attack. Just
There you go, kids. Don't draw just because you want to.
yeah, but
Jeez.
yeah, drawing. I feel like most people draw because they like the storytelling element of it. Like they like seeing the progress and putting images that are in your head to life. But I'm fairly certain if you could do it like automatically with consciousness streaming, all artists would retire immediately. Are we done shit talking Rings of Power? Because I can go on. I can explain why this show is bad if people don't
Well,
want
I didn't even
spoilers.
watch it, so and now that you say that, I'm like, well, I guess I won't bother. I don't know. There's so many things I'm not watching now. Why watch that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still enjoying House of the Dragon a lot. Like they
Yeah,
changed
it's
the
good.
actress. Like
But I haven't watched the latest episode. I think you're always ahead of me, so calm down. Yes.
have you seen
but
the new actress though?
Yes, I have, because you put it in our thumbnail before I watched that episode.
No, no, no. But you haven't seen the episode. She's been in 2 episodes now.
Yeah, I only saw one of them. House of the Dragon is good, Alex, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
agree.
It's good. It's good.
It's a bit slower paced. Oh, it's weird to say it's slower paced because it has time jumps and everything. It feels slower paced because it focuses on the politics more. I personally think it's good, and there's like some action scenes to break out the politics, so I think it's done really well. The dialogue is also much better. I don't think it's like Game of Thrones first 4 seasons quality, A tier quality, but the dialogue is pretty good. And one of the things I like about this show is even though that the protagonist is female, they don't make her the stereotypical Hollywood bad bitch. I can do everything I want because I'm
hero,
a
strong woman.
woman. I'm a woman, and you don't know how hard it is for me. There's elements of that in the series, but she's shown as she's shown as a strong woman, but also as a flawed woman, and I think as a flawed character even. And I think that is really. That's refreshing to see. I even mentioned it on the previous podcast. I liked it a lot. I think it's a well-made show.
It is good, and it. I mean, I guess for me, I don't remember what the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were about anymore. Like, I can barely remember. I know it started with Daenerys, this and that. She's being sold for, I don't know, horses or
Basically, the
ships
first
or whatever.
yeah, the first 4 seasons are about like the struggles of the kingdom, like Robert the king dying and the next in line being illegitimate. It was all about the politics of royalty and the lineages and the houses and relationships and loyalties and all that shit.
But
And
I like that. That's what builds a character, right? And I
Mhm.
feel the show right now, House of the Dragon, feeling-wise, is very reminiscent of that. It's like discovery and learning and understanding the characters, and I really like that. And you mentioned the time lapse. I mean, I only watched 1 episode after that, so it wasn't very clear what the point of that was. I think it was just the what's the word? It was just a setup, right? And I think probably in the next few episodes we know where it's going. because it's just the reveal. Like, okay, this happened, time change, and now it's gonna go in a specific direction, right? But you don't quite see where it is. Not exactly, but you already see some rifts in characters. You see change in relationships, and that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
That's what
the
makes
only
a good story.
If I had to criticize the show, and I wouldn't criticize it much, is just that the time lapses sometimes feels jarring. Like sometimes you feel like you're gonna spend more time in a certain area. Like there's more things to delve deeper into. Like imagine that there's a big betrayal between two characters, and you kind of want to see the outcome of that. No, time jump 20 years in the future or 10 years in the future. Like I guess they
water under the bridge.
Yeah, and pretty much the next time the characters show up, like, oh, I remember that one time where we didn't get along, but we're friends now. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that got fixed. That does happen like once or twice, and it is a bit annoying. But besides that, the show is mostly A tier, I think.
Yeah. I think we're gonna end up talking. Yeah, before we just bashed Game of Thrones, now we just keep talking about House of the Dragon. Do we even watch other shows? Did you ever watch Barry?
No, but I did watch, and I think I mentioned it on this stream, on my stream, not on the podcast, about a show called Bear, which is a food basically show. It's a food show, and it is really good. I recommend it vividly.
Okay. And Barry, it's with comedian. What's his name?
I know the guy. He appeared on It.
I didn't know that. I didn't watch that movie. What's the name of this actor? He's Bill Hader.
Exactly,
Bill Hader,
that's the guy.
Yeah. And the show is actually quite good, and it is, I mean, at least for me, different enough. It's it takes the storytelling in a bit different direction. It's more, it's like dark humor, but also kind of serious. I think it's quite good, and it's also nice to see Bill Hader actually play a character instead of just being a fool on camera.
He's actually a very good dramatic actor, by the way.
Yeah, he is good. He is pretty good.
I've seen like on It, he's like the star of the show of the movie, and the second movie is pretty ass, but he's amazing on it. Like I always feel like the best actors often have a comedic background or something. I've seen several actors that when they like one of my favorite actors right now, and I haven't seen him in a while, is John C. Reilly, he's known for like making like pothead movies and like being a comedian. He's also quite an ugly man, so he's always plays that the big doofus role, like, I'm an idiot. But each time he appears on a more dramatic piece, the dude steals the show. He knows the perfect timings for like a bit of levity. He also knows how to express immense pain and hurt. Like he steals the show. Honestly, I love John C. Reilly. I'd marry him.
Yeah, Alex is also mentioning Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But I think maybe those characters is like Jim Carrey, and there is another guy. What's his name from Breaking Bad? That guy. It's because people perceive them as one thing for so long, and they just showed a completely different side of them, and it was just whoa, where did that come from? And I feel like if they hadn't done the comedy, if you hadn't watched their comedy and you just seen, oh, that's good acting, but you wouldn't have such a strong reaction, right? If you haven't just had a preconceived idea about them.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey is the same thing.
But Jim Carrey does seem like a goofball in real life. Like he seems like a weird. I'm not gonna say weird, but he does seem eccentric. However, so did Robin Williams, the dude who ended up killing himself. You know, the genie from Aladdin. Like they had these really larger than life personalities, which is also often is quite tragic. Most comedians and most like those more jokey personalities, they do tend to have a backstory in drama, and like they have very tragic stories or very tragic lives.